coffee shop to city streets, we chase the buzz where the world beats. Rain or shine, we're on the case, giving news a wilder face. What's new, Tyler? Today news, hot takes and breaking views. Every story, something new. Stay tuned, we'll see it through. Politics to Panda Bears, sports and weather everywhere. Our team's got the scoop so fine. Tyler's news is headline prime. What's new, Tyler? Today news, hot takes and breaking views. Every story, something new. Stay tuned, we'll see it through. We'll see it through.
Yo, what's up, guys? I hope you could hear the song. I'm assuming you could hear it. But what we're gonna hear from right now is our guest that we always have on Mondays and Tuesdays and some Wednesdays. I am joined, of course, by the one, the only, TJ Rainman. How's it going, TJ?
What's happening, everybody?
Hey, could
Doing well.
you guys hear that song in the beginning?
I hope so.
You hope so? You're not sure? You could hear it, right, TJ?
So I have it muted on Rumble, and I can hear it through the OBS, yeah.
Okay, so you could still hear it though.
Absolutely.
Well, we have 12 absolutely beautiful people here in the audience on a Monday, nonetheless. So let's go ahead and jump right into the news with you guys. But before we do that, of course, hit that like, hit that follow button, hit all that good stuff. It helps support the channel. For those of you that haven't seen, I have new, I don't know what you call them, alerts that pop up. They'll pop up like between TJ and I, around where my hand is at right now. They'll pop up in this area when someone follows, they gift subscribers, they subscribe to the channel, send in a Rumble rant. I'm really excited to see the Rumble rant one. I've played it a few times myself, but I'm waiting for it to happen naturally because it's gonna play the Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. It's gonna say, "Where's my money, bitch?" It's gonna play it. It'll interrupt me. You guys can interrupt me with Rumble rants now or follow.
It's new technologies. I think someone needs to test it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, someone's got to test that technology for me. Someone send in a Rumble rant. But anyway, how was your weekend, TJ? I know your weekend's technically getting started, but
Yeah. First off, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Weekend was pretty good. I clocked out yesterday morning at 6 a.m. and then my weekend started. And so at 7:30 a.m., Dad and I were on the golf course. I played like absolute shit. My dad killed it. But it was a great way to spend Father's Day. And then, yeah, got to sleep at like normal human hours. So kicking off my day today as if I'm not nocturnal. So, yeah, definitely a good weekend so far. How was your weekend?
my weekend was all right. Mostly just hung out with family and stuff like that. We didn't do anything too crazy. I have a whole lot of things I can go do around here. So, but for Father's Day, I just hung out with the family and stuff like that. I didn't get anything for my stepdad this year. I don't have a ton of money right now.
Yeah.
But what's it called, just helping around the house for Father's Day and stuff like that.
I think it was Tim who did an ad read for these like Bluetooth connected meat thermometers, and
Nice.
must have hit my subconscious because a couple of days ago I was like, where do I get my dad? Like, he's one of those dudes that has everything, everything he'll need or anything I could afford to get for him. He probably already has.
Right. That's the problem with nowadays, right? You go shopping for anybody.
Yeah.
We got someone in the chat that I haven't seen in, I don't know if I've ever seen them in the chat. Hello, Clint Klein. What's up, buddy? He said, I forgot about this channel, lol, so.
We're going to remind you here real quick.
Huh?
I said we're gonna remind you here. Real
Yeah,
quick.
we're here to remind you, right? What's called? I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow though. Probably, I'm thinking about going fishing tomorrow after the show. Tomorrow is I don't know what you would call it. Tomorrow, I believe it makes 9, if not 10 years since my father passed away.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so probably go fishing. Hang out with some friends tomorrow after the
So
show.
fishing hole that he used to take you to?
Huh?
Are you going to a fishing hole that he used to take you to?
No. If I were gonna go somewhere, he would used to take me to. He used to always take me to Ventura Beach, and we have some other creeks and stuff around where we actually live. But Ventura is a few hours away, and we used to go there all the time. It was always really nice. We had a trail that we would walk down, and he called it our secret beach because it was a section of beach that was cut off by rocks, and people wouldn't often go down that far.
Cool. Only the locals really know about it.
Basically, or people that go there often. So we would often go to a section of beach where you go down another like 500 feet, and it was just jam packed. But like where we were, it was nice and secluded. It was always really nice. I was one of the guys from the quartering raid on Friday. That's where I remember your name from. Okay, awesome. Well, what's up, man? Glad to have you in the chat. We're just talking about news today. I'll probably stream some games or whatever later, depending on what's going on. If I'm not busy, I do need to take my recycling today. But anyway,
Dude, crazy week.
I know so much news, so much to do. Very busy. Everybody's very busy, including the weekend. The weekend was incredibly busy. Was there anything that happened over the weekend, TJ? I don't know.
I didn't really follow much of it.
Yeah, I don't think there was a whole lot. There was only just like Civil War and
World War III,
World War III, and funding for gay stuff and. Anyway, I shouldn't be laughing going into the story because when this story came out, this was the day of the No Kings protest early in the morning, very, very early in the morning. This was absolutely terrible way to start the day. Fake cop murders top state Democrat and husband and shoots second. And what that title means by shoots second is they shot the second top state Democrat and their spouse. So 2 high-level state Democrats in the state of Minnesota were both shot by the same person in the same night. One of the couples having survived. This couple here is deceased. So, absolutely crazy story. Vance Luther Bolter, who remains at large, is accused of shooting State Senator John Hoffman and Representative Melissa Hortman at their homes in Minnesota. So Vance, he has been caught. We actually have a picture of him right here. He has been caught. So this is him being apprehended.
Definitely looks like a creepy dude, but I'm glad they finally got him. I heard that he did he turn himself in?
I don't think he turned himself in, no.
There
was a manhunt out for him, so.
Yeah.
Well, and then it says here from Nick Sortor, assassin and Tim Waltz associate Vance Bolter has been taken into custody after surrendering to police in the woods near Green Isle, Minnesota, per KSTP. This comes after a massive search operation with multiple agencies involved. He supposedly was spotted by a drone and put his hands up. So yeah, no, he was on the run. Drone saw him. Dude, imagine you're a kid and like you're just flying a drone and you happen to see a convict and he thinks it's a police drone. He just puts his hands up and surrenders. That's what I was thinking about when I first saw the story because I was like, dude, what if it wasn't even a police drone?
It's interesting that they're using drones for manhunts like that.
Oh, they've been doing that for a while. I like watching the police body cam footage. B Money Gaming said, "Dude is CIA." Is that confirmed? Why are you saying that? That sounds like a conspiracy theory, man.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say it sounds like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but I feel like the conspiracy theories that are starting to surround this story, it's all so crazy. Like,
wait, hang on, Flair. Don't be yelling at other viewers. Hang on a minute. you don't scare off my viewers.
No, but so many people, like, I don't know. There's this big argument going on right now on was he right wing, was he far left, was he
Does it matter?
Well, kinda, because like you see that a certain base is getting radicalized to take violent action. So, but like he had the No Kings flyers in his car. I I don't know. I think we get into it a little bit here a little later, but there's arguments for both sides,
Yeah.
and it's crazy to discern what's true.
So here, let's go into this article a little bit. Zoom in here. Make sure everybody can read it. 2 Democratic Party lawmakers were shot in separate incidents at their homes in suburban Minnesota by a gunman dressed like a cop early Saturday morning. State Representative Melissa Hortman, 55, and her husband Mark, who were shot at their home in Brooklyn Park, succumbed to their injuries. KSTP reported State Senator John Hoffman, 60, and his wife Yvette were shot at their home in Chaplin, North Minneapolis. Police have identified the suspected gunman as Vance Luther Bolter, 57, a private security consultant who was also appointed to the Minnesota Governor's Workforce Development Board in 2019. So he's worked in Minnesota for the government for 6 years, assuming he's still held that position.
He was appointed by Tim Walz.
By Tim Walz in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the left is trying to say that he's a far right extremist MAGA.
Well, you know, I don't think you being appointed by a Democrat makes you a Democrat, to be fair.
I mean, I agree. Like, I'm trying to see nuance into it, but like that is an argument point, especially with Tim Walz being one of the like most far left radicalized sort of politicians in the country.
Yeah.
Like, I doubt that he would. I mean, he would find someone who's more of like neocon or someone who's like he would avoid at all costs if he was appointing people, I would assume.
Let me read some of the chat. B Money Gaming says not confirmed, but look at his resume. The 2 victims voted to end illegal healthcare. Yeah, that is true. It was there was a bill that they had signed, something to do with preventing illegals from getting healthcare and other stuff with healthcare. So this did come right after that. That could be related. Rumble is choppy for me today. We Was Kings protest was funded by white leftist psychopaths. Okay, Flair. We Was Kings. Have you seen that meme?
The We Was Kings? I haven't.
Okay, it's a racist meme. It's still funny, but it is racist. Access to guns for security company, money laundering possible through the church he owns, and former NGO contractor in Africa. Before that, a gas station manager. I don't know, man. A lot of weird stories from all these gunmen all the time.
There's also like an old video of him that's out there, and it's almost like he's doing a like video resume, talking about I don't go by any other names. This is my name. This is my work history and whatnot.
Yep. And I got to highlight Guido in the chat. He says F Walmart. Completely agree. F Walmart, man. I live right next to one. There's it's absolutely crazy the things they lock up. It's incredible. It's really sad when you can't even go get deodorant.
Yeah. Crazy
Anyway, what's called? Let's see. Bolter, who is alleged to have worn body armor during the assault, is now the subject of a massive police dragnet. He is on foot, police said in a press conference. So this article is a little bit older. This was as the story was developing. I believe this... okay, so that was him on the manhunt. We already saw that. Let me close out of that. Here's the picture of him, I believe by someone's Ring doorbell or just their video camera outside. Dude, I was telling TJ before we went live, this would absolutely make me shit my pants. Someone outside my door 3 a.m. like this, cop or not, man. But TJ brought up the excellent point that like 3 a.m. or not, a cop or not, don't answer your door. Confirm it's actually a cop.
Yeah, when the story first dropped, one of the first posts I saw was saying, if you have a knock at the door, even if they say they're police, get in contact with dispatch, like, and ask them if they have an officer at your address.
Yeah. Well,
because
absolutely. And then it's really weird. I wonder if they even like looked at him prior to opening the door, because I see that mask and you can be in full military gear. I'm and like with like what is it, like Secret Service badges and everything. I'm not opening the door for you in that mask.
Right. And like if that is a Ring camera, you can do like voice and video communication through the Ring doorbell. I don't see why they wouldn't have done that at 3 a.m.
Right. So I mean, who knows exactly how it played out? Did Walmart get what they wanted? I don't know. Did they flare? Shitty Gov says, I'm finding it hard to be sad about the assassinations. I get that it's bad. I just hate the government so much that I literally feel nothing for these politicians when this stuff happens.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shitty Gov. That's a harsh take, man.
Yeah, that's a hot take right there.
Like
Shitty
nobody
Gov.
deserves to have their life ended for
Yeah.
any reason, you know?
Yeah, the only reason I would ever agree with violence like this is if the person having the violence committed upon them was trying to hurt people actively, or had already hurt someone, actively hurt someone. I don't agree, like, because these people, what was their crime? Being a part of the government and voting like shit, like that. I don't think that's a reason to kill them.
Right. And then did you hear about when it was first reported, there was apparently like a manifesto that was found inside the vehicle, fled on foot, right? Did you hear about?
I don't know about. Was there a manifesto?
So that it was initially reported that there was a manifesto and that there was the
There was no King flyers in his car.
yeah, so there was no King's Flyers, and then there was manifesto, and they also mentioned like 70 names on a hit list of other Democrats and stuff like that. So, hold on. What am I watching?
How do you feel about the Alaskan Avenger doing this to PDF files? I know nothing about that, Shitty Gov. Is what it is. If the government didn't suck so hard, I wouldn't feel this way, but they do, so I do. Is what it is. Yeah. Capital punishment is necessary for these types of people. Do you mean the person that killed the representatives, or do you mean the representatives that are voting like shit? Because we were having two different conversations, unwoke gamer. Because capital punishment. I mean, how do you? I'll ask that question, TJ. Should capital punishment be issued in this instance for the individual that murdered the couple and shot the other representative and his wife?
What exactly do you mean by capital punishment?
When someone says capital punishment, they mean the state ending that person's life.
I don't know. I'm not the biggest advocate of the death sentence personally.
So no.
So short answer, no. Like, put him in the worst condition prison possible or whatever. I don't know. That's just my initial thought on the matter. Maybe someone can convince me, but.
Yeah, I don't think murdering a politician is any worse than murdering like any random person that you don't like. Like, what's worse, murdering a politician or murdering someone of like a decently sized company? I would see them as equal, right? Unless
you can charge them for, since it is a political official, you could claim it as terrorism or something like that.
Yeah. Unless you want to get them on terrorism. Yeah, which
includes the death penalty as a punishment for it.
Actually, yeah, no, that's a good point. This should be charged as terrorism. Absolutely, it should. Because it is absolutely, this is politically motivated. That's the definition of terrorism, right?
Right.
So, yeah, this guy's a domestic terrorist. And it even says here, I was going to read this, but we were talking about it. It says, officers exchanged fire with the gunman after he began shooting at police when they arrived on the scene at Hortman's home. So when he arrived at the second house, so that's why the male senator, that's why he lived, is because the cops got there in time before he could finish him off.
Yeah, so from what I understand, he went to the first house, and then the gunshots were reported to the police, and then there was another officer that was like, "Hey, should we also check on this other politician who also lives in the area?" And then the commanding officer was like, "That's not a bad idea. Let's send someone over there to do like a quick wellness check." And when they got there, the dude was actually at that house.
That's absolutely,
which is
super
lucky.
And that's exactly why you do those wellness checks.
Yeah.
It says, so Minnesota Governor Tim Walz described the shootings as an act of targeted political violence. So, terrorism. At the press conference, adding that those responsible will be held accountable and that he would be working with other officials to ensure a tragedy like this never repeats itself. Well, I don't know how you prevent a tragedy like this from repeating itself. This is just one of those things that you have to be careful with living in a society. People can go batshit crazy.
Yeah, a good way to prevent tragedies like this, tone down the rhetoric and try not to turn your face.
Yeah, stop normalizing violence and saying violent protests are peaceful and that you should go attack your political rivals.
Yeah.
Oh no, just a thought. Just a thought, right, TJ?
Yep. But no,
Uh,
they didn't see it. Like I'm still seeing like posts about like the riots and stuff like that. That's like Donald Trump made us do this,
lo-
and
lo-
so
a lot of new names in the chat today. It's really cool to see. I'm assuming
Yeah.
all you guys are from
Yeah.
the quartering raid. That's really cool. We got Tim Finman. He said he is very well pick pasty scapegoat with the perfect history of obfuscation of his true motives. Possible to be, I don't know how to say that. Oh, MK Ultra type as well, given what I've seen. So
Dude, and
Tim is saying
that's
maybe he's the MK Ultra.
so there because there's the flyers and there's the Democrat hit list,
The hit list. Yep.
and there's the fact that these guys just voted to remove uh, the illegal health care, and then you also have that in 2004 he was a registered Republican, but then he moved to Minnesota where they don't actually list the party affiliation. So now the left is saying, well, he's a registered Republican, even though we don't actually know. And so there's like multiple things on both sides that allow both both parties to say this guy belongs to you. And so the fact that he's in the perfect amount of obfuscation.
Obfuscation. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting word. I know. Quick, say it 5 times fast.
No, I don't want to. But this guy really does have a history that has the perfect amount of that to keep everything up in the air and to keep people arguing over it.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit of a tinfoil hat on about it. I'm still kind of developing my own conspiracy theory about it.
So we'll continue reading here, and yeah, no, it's an interesting theory. I want to see what else comes out from this. Full major dose of leticillin through the door, if that is at my door. 100%. Yeah, 100%, dude. This is at my door. 12 gauge, right through just right up against the door. Bam, buckshot. Anyway. Maybe I shouldn't say that on stream, but anyway, Hoffman and his wife are now out of surgery. Waltz said he is cautiously optimistic they will recover. Both officials had reportedly attended a Democratic dinner with their spouses on Friday night to mark the end of their acrimonious day-long special session of the Minnesota legislature, during which lawmakers avoided a partial government shutdown after passing a $66 billion budget. That's for Minnesota. Prior to her death, Portman had served as her party's top official in the state house, and previously as Speaker, Hoffman held his office as state senator for more than 13 years. Actually, I had a video I wanted to pull up. Let's go back to this window. Let me go find, do I have it pulled up? I don't have it pulled up. Okay, let me pull this video up, because this adds a little bit of context. So we actually, the state senator that is no longer with us, she passed away. Nick Sortor shared this clip of her immediately after the vote, and I just find it really interesting.
The crackling in her voice.
You've seen the video.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, Representative Melissa Hortman sounded absolutely terrified while speaking to the media after she voted no on healthcare for illegals. She was just assassinated this morning. She knew she'd end up as a target in one form or another. So, this is just absolutely sad to hear this.
Super quick counter argument to that. Maybe she was terrified. Maybe she was sad and like was disappointed in herself. Either could be true, but I could see how someone could view it as.
Either way, it just shows the absolute tension that was from this bill, that was coming from this bill.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision. I know that.
So it's really hard to hear there, and I know it's a short clip. I wish I had a longer clip for more context, but you can hear it in her voice. She's clearly trying not to cry. She's trying to avoid crying. So like TJ said, it could be a multitude of things. But it's just interesting to see that was like maybe 24 hours before she was assassinated. So interesting. But anyway, did you have anything to add before I continue reading here?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so prior to her death, Hortman had served as her party's top official in the state house, and previously as speaker, Hoffman held his office as state senator for more than 13 years. His nephew, Matt Oleg, told KARE 11 that one of the gunman's bullets had very nearly hit his uncle's heart during the assault. Oleg added that Hoffman's daughter, Hope, had been at the house last night and that his wife, Yvette, had been injured by the shots after she threw herself on top of her daughter so that she was not hit. So that's really, that's amazing by the mother. President Donald Trump responded to the incident in a statement on X. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, he described it as a terrible shooting, which appears to be a targeted attack against state lawmakers, added that the matter was already under investigation by Attorney General Pam Bondi and the FBI. Such horrific violence will not be tolerated in the United States of America. God bless the great people of Minnesota, a truly great place. The shooting comes just hours before millions are expected to attend a spat of protests across more than 2,000 cities around the country, coinciding with a Washington, D.C. military parade to mark the Army's 250th anniversary, which also happens to fall on Trump's 79th birthday. So yeah, massive weekend for news and just for the country. 250th anniversary for our military's founding, and it was also Trump's 79th birthday, which happened to coincide, which a lot of people were saying that the big festivities he was throwing for the 250th anniversary of the Army was actually celebration for his birthday, which is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't see a single person even wish him a happy birthday yesterday. They were all talking about the military parade. So I do think that that's interesting, that they were trying so hard to make it about his birthday. And
that was also justification for
the No
Kings protest.
Yep. Well,
like they were,
and I think I brought it up on a day when you weren't here, but did you also know that this isn't even the first No Kings protest this year?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, there was one back in February.
Ah.
On the 17th of February, and it was an absolute failure. That's why they tried it again.
To give the all the leftists a little bit of credit, the No Kings protest does appear that it was like pretty freaking large, and
yes,
and I don't know, I didn't see too much about any violence or burning down of cities or anything like that. And so,
obviously, there was some violence, which we'll get into, but you're absolutely right. Even in my town, there were very large demonstrations, much larger than I thought there were going to be. So much so that my family and I were communicating about which areas to avoid in town.
Right. And I will, I'll give a win when someone gets a win. And I probably said win too many times in that sentence, but still. But respect to them. They got out, they made their voice heard, they marched around. Oh, have you seen some of the memes that are going around about, I'm not sure if it's a real truth that Trump sent out, but he's like, I just want to say thank you to all of the people who went out for the No Kings protest. I was getting worried that a king was going to take my job, but thanks to all of your efforts, I'm still here.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, no, I did see that X posting. He's like, I was worried that a king was going to usurp me, but thankfully I am still your president or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Hilarious.
But
anyway.
what's called? So we're basically done with that article there. Let me switch back to this over here. Yeah, just absolutely tragic. The guy obviously should get life in prison. I don't know about capital punishment for this situation. Maybe because we do need a deterrent for this kind of violence. But I don't know. I don't know.
Depends on what the fullest extent of the law is.
Depends on the charges. I think he should be charged with terrorism, absolutely, though. And then you showed this video to me. I haven't seen it yet, so I want to react to this. Allegedly, this is the gunman's roommate. The roommate and friend of the Minnesota shooting suspect breaks down in tears as he reads his final text. The friend claimed Vance Bolter was a Trump voter and hated abortion, which does coincide with what they found in his car, because on the hit list was abortion providers. So that is interesting. Let's go ahead and play this clip.
I love you guys. I made some choices and you guys don't know anything about this, but I'm going to be gone for a while. Sorry. Take your time. Maybe dead shortly. So I just want to let you know I love you guys both. And I wish it hadn't gone this way. I don't want to say anything more and implicate you in any way because you guys don't know anything about this. But I love you guys and I'm sorry for all the trouble this has caused. I love you guys. I made
Okay.
So it's interesting. Sounded like this guy wasn't like actually friends with him. Like they were actually. That's crazy. Evil people have friends, PJ.
Right, but what's weird to me, like the text almost feels staged. The fact that he says, and you guys don't know anything about this, like 2 times in the single text, almost makes this seem like, I mean, maybe this is my tinfoil hat on, but it almost seems like he probably helped advocate or plan for it, and then he's like, all right, well, you're going to do it. Send me this text, and they like worked out exactly what they were going to say to remove any sort of implication from him. It feels weird to him.
Shitty Gov says, dude needs an insane asylum. If you give him the death sentence, you'll turn him into a martyr. That is an interesting point.
Fair point.
That is one of the good arguments against capital punishment often is that if you end their life, they just become a martyr. But if you stick them in a cell somewhere for for people to forget about them, then that's just the better route, because then no one dies and then he gets forgotten about. So
Fair.
And then Guido says wah wah wah.
So what do you think about my sort of conspiracy theory that it doesn't seem genuine?
It could be staged. It could be who knows? Because if they're genuinely good friends like this, it could be that they've jokingly talked about it before, and then this guy gets this text like, "Hey, you don't know anything about this, but I was actually planning that." It could be like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think this guy actually knew it. I don't think if he was tied into it in some way, they'll come back on him. You know?
Yeah, it's weird because he's got like camera coverage, news coverage. There's some other videos of him out there.
Well, I'm sure there was news crews coming to the house, and then this guy's like having to wait outside. Like I'm sure it was not hard to find him if you're looking into the story.
Someone posted day 4, and he still hasn't taken a shower. Hair's still all greasy, wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, and so we could talk about that a little bit before we move on. What Shitty Guff's talking about here, he was probably normal 10 years ago, and after a decade of Democrat gaslighting, he snapped and did this. I'd say hold the people doing the gaslighting liable for his crimes. I see the argument there, Shitty Guff, but I don't know. You can't hold other people accountable for someone else's crimes, even if you want to make the argument that they pushed him into doing it over the past 10 years, and it's like, well, I don't know. That's the tough thing, right? How do you fix that?
That's been a topic of contention for I don't know, quite a while now. Like the dog whistling, you get out there and you make these people, uncomfortable. And if you see them in a diner, you get in their face, and like they're getting right up to the line of verbalizing, hey, go take this action, without stepping over it.
Look,
and I think that's kind of what he's talking about.
Look, the left is incredibly good at grooming. We know that.
Yeah.
And whether it's grooming you into deviance or grooming you into committing violence. So
it's crazy to see people finally start snapping after being fear-mongered for over a decade.
Well, so that's what I want to say is to the people saying that he's not a Republican. I would say that he probably is a Republican.
Think so?
I think he's a Republican. Yeah, you don't. So here's my theory on it. Right, if he was a Democrat or is a Democrat, he's going to be an older version of what the Democrats used to be, and the reason he got appointed and was working with Democrats, he was probably one of those people that was like, oh, change it from the inside. And then once he started realizing that he can't fix it, he started going crazy, started looking at Alex Jones, getting radicalized, and then he went and committed something like this. That's my theory on it. I do think he's probably more right-leaning, or maybe just like an older version of what Democrats used to be. But I don't think, just based off what I've seen, I don't think this guy would be a modern day Democrat.
You're not talking about the best friend. You're talking about the shooter.
Talking about the shooter.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm at this point, I'm open to either answer. and that's why it's weird. It's so obfuscated that there are so many variables that argue for either side. In 2004, he was registered Republican, so I don't think that he would be an old school Democrat if he was an old school Republican, right?
Yeah.
I almost wonder how much TDS he's been captivated by.
I mean, that's
Because maybe he was an old school Republican and then got convinced by all the media lies and shit like that.
yeah.
So I don't know. It's crazy.
It is very crazy. Man, we talked about that for quite a while, but we can opine on what may or may not be. But at the end of the day, we, as usual, need to wait for more information to come out.
Yeah, I want to see the release of the manifesto, but now they're also saying that there was no manifesto. But it was
yeah, that could have been false reporting. I didn't see any of that when I was looking into stuff. It could have just been people spreading fake news, you know?
Well, I think the hit list was included in the manifesto.
Ooh,
And so
okay.
Maybe they were just calling the hit list a manifesto, and so now they're trying to say, well, no, it was just,
just a list,
It isn't
yeah.
a manifesto, or maybe it was a manifesto with a hit list, and now they're just denying it exists because it would be inflammatory to the contentions.
Maybe. Okay, so... Okay, I want to talk about
Where
that.
do you want to go?
No, I'm just thinking what I want to pull up next. We're going to talk about this story. So there was where was this? We'll read the article first. So a Latino radical leftist and alleged Antifa supporter has been charged with murder after allegedly causing the conditions that resulted in a Samoan man being killed at the Salt Lake City No Kings protest on June 14th.
That is a crazy framing when you look at
That is a crazy framing. Yeah. So should I just read the article and then we'll see if the audience can figure out what actually fucking happened here?
Let's go.
Okay, so let's see if you guys in the audience can actually figure out what happened here, and then I'll say it at the end if it doesn't spell it out. Arturo Gamboa, a 24-year-old member of the leftist Utah-based punk band Raid, R-A-D-E, Raid, or Rad, whatever, was apprehended at the scene wearing all black and having a semi-automatic rifle. A No Kings liberal peacekeeper volunteer with bad aim tried taking out Gamboa with 3 shots, but instead fatally wounded a bystander. The peacekeeper may have seriously misjudged the situation, as it's unclear if Gamboa was actively posing a threat. The No Kings protest organizers, who are a party of nearly 200 Democrat-aligned unions, PACs, nonprofits, and activist groups, did not want a significant police presence there and relied on these peacekeepers instead. Many left-wing activists are encouraged to believe that they are constantly under threat of mass killings by MAGA, white supremacists, or police, leading them to both open and concealed carry at their events while in a state of paranoia. Arthur Afa Al-Lo, a 39-year-old fashion designer, died from his injuries in the hospital. Suspect Gamboa only suffered a graze wound. Gamboa, so keep in mind, Gamboa, suspect. He is the suspect. Gamboa suffered a graze wound. How interesting. The suspect was shot. And the suspect was shot, and the bullet grazed him and hit another person. Really interesting, TJ. How the suspect gets shot.
It's crazy that these peacekeepers are out there and you're like, there's a guy with a gun.
So let me play the video for you guys, and let me just spell it out because this is ridiculous. So in this video, you're gonna see Gamboa, the suspect, holding a semi-automatic rifle, minding his own fucking business, and then you're gonna see this other individual, this designated peacekeeper, has his arms raised, gun at the ready. This guy is clearly no threat. His gun is down at his side. He doesn't even have both hands on it. He's not aiming it at anybody. This designated peacekeeper is directly targeting him. So here he is, directly targeting him. Open fire. Just opens fire. For what? What did that guy do? You can see right here. Opens fire for what? On him.
He wasn't even looking at him.
It wasn't even looking at him, didn't have his hands on his gun, he had it at his side, and then because of this peacekeeper killed this man. He killed this guy right here. Arthur Afa is now dead. for no fucking reason because of this peacekeeper. And who gets arrested? The guy he shot at. The guy he shot at got arrested for
His only crime was
causing
having
the
a weapon.
incident.
Yeah, his only crime was having a weapon, and they tried to execute him for it.
Here he is. He's arrested. You can see that he clearly has a graze wound, and now he's being arrested and charged for what did it say at the start? This is Andy No's new news site, by the way. No comment. I love the name.
Reread the opening statement.
That's what I was about to do. So,
Cool.
So opening statement. Let's read it again now that you guys have more context. A Latino radical leftist and alleged Antifa supporter has been charged with murder after allegedly, let me read it nice and slow for you guys. Has been charged with murder after allegedly causing the conditions that resulted in a Samoan man being killed at the Salt Lake City No Kings protest on June 14th. He's being arrested and charged with murder for causing the conditions.
What was the conditions? Being there with the
Walking
weapon.
with a gun?
Yeah.
So these peacekeepers that are not law enforcement, they're not law enforcement. They are not a security organization. They're allowed to open carry because of the Second Amendment. Shot at a guy who's also allowed to open carry because of the Second Amendment. And now the guy that was minding his own fucking business is being charged with the murder of this guy.
So, what's the? Lost my train of thought. Keep ranting.
This is
Come back to
exactly how the system is meant to function. He said the American system is a steam train that that's always been fueled by the black and brown bodies. What? Gamboa
So,
previously
I
told
remember,
music. Wait, Gamboa previously told music publication Slug Mag that he detested American global influence, citing racism. So Gamboa just doesn't like America, but still, he has the Second Amendment right.
He doesn't need to be executed for that.
Well, no. Gamboa was the guy that was the suspect. He's now arrested and being charged with murder. Gamboa is the suspected murderer because he caused the conditions.
Right, and they tried to execute him.
Did they? Oh, well, I don't know if that was an execution, but he was trying to take him out because he perceived him as a threat for some reason.
Right, I'm semantics.
You're being a little hyperbolic, but I understand.
Sure.
Yeah.
But my question is, what would have happened if the police were to have arrested the quote-unquote peacekeeper?
Yeah, why aren't both of them arrested?
Or they should have, but like at these large protests, how many times have we seen someone who's like well within their rights to, hold their firearm or something like that, and they get arrested for doing no crimes? Because if they were to try and arrest like the rioters, they'd be met with violent resistance.
Yeah.
I wonder if it plays a role in this at all.
And then it's showing some Antifa post from some of the people involved, like Gamboa, who was grazed by the bullet. He posted some Black Lives Matter stuff for Utah as a group. And one post made during the 2020 BLM Antifa riots, the Artura Gamboa reposted a message that reads, "If you're anti-Antifa, then you are pro-fascist. If you support Trump, you support a fascist." This same sentiment was echoed widely at the No Kings protest where the shooting occurred.
So anti-Antifa.
If you're
That would be-
anti-Antifa, you are pro-fascism.
That's like a double negative. So it would just be Tifa.
Well, it's like when you're
You're Tifa.
anti-racist or you're anti-racist. I don't know.
Yeah, stupid double negatives.
Yeah.
Anyway,
People are dumb is the point, TJ.
Yep.
But so Tim actually had Andy No on to talk about this, and let's react to the clip, and then we'll move on to some more fun topics like World War III.
This is a very, very weird story. Like, I've compared this with the Kyle Rittenhouse case where he was threatened with death, he was attacked, and he fled. And only after someone fired a shot behind him did he turn around, got attacked again, shot. He killed that man Rosenbaum. He tried to go to the police, was attacked again. This is a weird story where it appears you're saying there's video of what appears to be one of these liberal peacekeepers. I understand it. Were associated with the 5051. It's the stupidest name because you got to explain. It's 50501. It appears they shot at this guy for no reason. I from everything I've read and as you're describing it now, it sounds like there's a far left Antifa guy. He's got a rifle. Some other guy points the rifle at him. So he runs, which I think a lot of people might do if they get a rifle pointed at him. And then this 50501 guy starts shooting into the crowd. Yet they didn't arrest him. They didn't.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you watch we'll watch the video one more time. Like, literally, no reason. Could you even in your wildest dreams, like playing devil's advocate? You're good at that, TJ. Play devil's advocate here. Why would you shoot this guy?
I mean, unless there were unless this video is clipped out of context. You know what I mean? Was he, running around at all these different people a minute before this? Maybe. But really, it's tough to play devil's advocate at all. Like,
Yeah, I don't see it, because if he was a threat to someone, why are all the people around acting like it's all normal? Why aren't these guys trying to get people to safety? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if this guy was an actual threat, the situation wouldn't have played out like this.
I mean, how many people down there have their phones out and are recording this? Like, I want to see other on the ground footage.
Yeah. I don't know if we have other footage, but let's see what Andy they're talking about it here. Let's see what they have to say.
Didn't call this a liberal mass shooter or anything like that. It's just, I'm quite confused as to how this is how it played out.
So it was the peacekeeper who pointed a pistol, and fired it, not
was a pistol.
rifle. By the way, the radical leftist is the one with a rifle, but
Yes. I'm glad he corrected Tim on that, because if you watch the video, the peacekeeper does have a handgun, not a rifle.
Interesting.
he has it on him. He's running away. It's pointed at the ground as he's running away. We don't know if he was brandishing it at anybody. That's not part of the allegations, and no footage has emerged of that. And
so that answers your question, CJ.
Question.
Yeah. So if there is other footage, no one has shared it. But that's what No said. He said that he hasn't even seen that that's a part of the allegations. No one's alleging that he had raised the rifle at anyone.
Right.
So that literally, yeah. So it literally does sound like this peacekeeper shot him for no fucking reason. He saw a dude. He saw a dude dressed in dark clothing with a rifle and was like, "Bad guy."
and who deputized these peacekeepers to?
Well, that's what Tim's talking about. It's the organizers of the group that essentially allowed these peacekeeping volunteers.
Right, but what legal right do they have to deputize them to take this sort of action?
They don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, the organizers told the police that they don't want a heavy police presence because they're anti-cop, and they will police their own event. It's the same thing like we saw in Portland, Oregon. You know, when they did the Chaz and Chop stuff, they're like, we don't want law enforcement here. We'll police our own. And then stuff like this happens because you don't know how to police your own. So, continuing.
Yep.
The context for people who might be confused, understandably, at a lot of these left-wing demonstrations, these radical anarchist, communist, revolutionary types, which, by the way, the social media that is alleged to belong to the Latino guy, he would have those views. They go to these demonstrations to act sort of with firearms, to act as, in their minds, a deterrent to any white supremacists or far right who might want to threaten the left-wing protesters. I can imagine
So that's what creates situations like this, though, and it's like what you were saying earlier with the gunmen that went and killed those Minnesota representatives. We have this Reddit constantly of anti-white, white supremacist, these fascists are coming to get you, and all these people on the left truly believe it to the point where they're no longer, and a lot of the people on the left are no longer anti-gun. They're absolutely pro-gun, but then they show up to events like this armed, and then they're like, oh crap, I'm just waiting for one of these MAGA guys to try something, and then they shoot some random guy because they're shitting their pants waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, it's wild that they've been propagandized to such a point where they do think that
they'll shoot their own, like they'll shoot someone of the same ideology just because of the way they're dressed, because they think they're going to attack.
Right, I halfway wonder if there just wasn't enough, counter-protesting to create a level of hostility that would warrant them using a gun. So they decided to, create this narrative in their own head to justify it. You know what I mean? They were thirsty. They were thirsty for it, and so they came up with justification.
Yeah. Okay, so let's watch the rest of this clip, and then we'll move on to the last story, because we'll talk about this one for a while. We'll probably go over.
situation, because it's happened before where these militants on the radical left who come with tactical gear, they're dressed in all black, they're wearing masks, and they're open carrying weapons. Other people who don't know who they are might misinterpret and assume that they're some type of far-right MAGA threat, and confront them or something. And in this case, it turned deadly. It remains to be seen if that's actually what happened, but that there's no evidence so far that the man actually charged with murder was threatening to anybody other than opening carrying, but that's lawful in the state of Utah. And for why he's been charged with murder, a lot of states in their criminal statutes on murder, it can include if you create the conditions where somebody gets killed, you don't necessarily have to be the one who pull the trigger or stab somebody, for example. But
That's crazy. So what Noah's talking about there is some state laws, you can be charged with murder just for creating the conditions for the murder to happen. But,
Which I hate that phrasing, because that is one of those like objective.
it's arbitrary and
Yes.
it's subjective. And then besides that, this guy didn't create the conditions for anything. He was walking down a public sidewalk in a state where you're allowed to open carry. No just said it. In Utah, you're allowed to open carry. So if he's in public, open carrying, how did he create the conditions when he's doing nothing wrong?
Yeah. So the peacekeeper was the victim in this story.
Right, he's the victim because he got his feelings hurt. He got scared and he had to shoot someone. The other guy gets that. Man, that's crazy. The left makes jokes about like, oh, I wish I could be like Kyle Rittenhouse and go murder 3 people just because I'm on the right. Dude, I wish I could be a Democrat and be like, oh my God, I thought it was a big bad Republican. Charge that guy with murder. He scared me.
Right.
Ridiculous.
It is backwards. It's insane.
Absolutely
so
backwards.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I don't care if this guy's a far left radical, whatever. The guy actually charged with murder, I don't care if he's a far left radical, Antifa, whatever. He could be the biggest socialist in the country. If he didn't break any laws, release him. You should not be charging this guy with murder. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a level of I don't care because it's the left eating their own, but there's also a level of like justice needs to be just.
May 100 innocent or may 100 guilty go free so that one innocent is not punished for a crime they did not commit. That's my thoughts on it. Yep. Anyway, but yes, we'll give updates to both of those stories that we've talked about. Dude, we've only gone through like 2 stories today. So much news. So much news. And Joey, if you're watching, this next story is not a short one, and we're already getting close on time. So yeah, Joey, go ahead and start your show. We'll be there when we're there. Explosions heard over Tel Aviv as it happened. So this is The Guardian, and they're giving a actual like timeline here. Looks like one day ago. Man, I don't know how far back we want to go. I mean, we don't need to give
an interesting timeline.
Yeah, we don't need to give a play-by-play. Here's the bulk of the story. Israel decided to strike Iran after the 60-day grace period for negotiations was up. So basically, the United States has been trying to negotiate a deal so that they stop trying to get nuclear arms, and we gave them 60 days to come to the table. The 60 days was up, and Israel immediately started fucking bombing them without the United States approval. So,
sorry, may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So when those strikes initially took place, I immediately was furious because I don't want war to be happening on the global stage. Oh man, I'm losing my train of thought today. I recognize the level of precision that was included in those strikes that Israel took, and like when Ukraine did the drone thing, I admired the ingenuity behind the attack. Even though I'm against Israel striking them in the first place, I can still admire the skill and precision that was used in that attack. Have you seen some of those images, like just a single room of like a building or whatever, like there's a hole in the wall, and glass shattered out of one room on one floor.
Yeah, I have seen that, and I've seen people with comments like, "Oh, you have precision when it comes to taking out leaders, but you don't have precision when it comes to avoiding targeting children."
And I kind of agree with that as well. Like,
I mean, yeah, no, it's a valid argument. If you're like, "Oh, this guy is in this room on this floor in this chair," like, and we're gonna fucking strike him dead on. Why can't you do that in Gaza? Why do you have to level buildings?
Yeah,
it is an interesting point. I'm not on any side in this fucking conflict. I think all the war is stupid, and I think Israel is a load of shit, just like all the other countries around them.
so to bring it back to the whole like Gaza-Israel conflict really quick, I've been saying for a while, you see people saying that Israel has the right to defend itself or whatever, and I kind of agree with that, but I also think that the tactics that they use were not the right tactics because it resulted in countless, casualties.
You know what I tell people to piss off everyone, TJ?
What?
Israel has the right to defend themselves just as much as Palestine does.
Yeah, sure.
So,
but all I'm trying to say is that for a while now, I was saying that I think Israel needed to do more C Team 6 style retaliation against Hamas and stuff like that, because it wouldn't have resulted in all of the dead civilians and children.
well, so
And then to see them actually be able to do what I've been saying that they probably should have done in the first place, it's like, oh, so it was actually always possible.
my theory on this is that they have done what they wanted to do in Gaza and Palestine. They took out the majority of the leadership for Hamas. No one wants to be a leader of Hamas right now. Who the fuck would? You'll get bombed. So they've basically already done what they needed to in Gaza. They will probably end up owning it within the next 5 years. So they're not concerned about it anymore. They want to set their sights on the big fish, which is Iran.
Right. And did you see like the people who they took out, like the chief of staff?
No. Here, let me switch cameras. I'll see if I can get a list of who they took out.
Let me try and find the image for you.
Okay.
You can read through the article if you like.
But yeah, well, I mean, I don't really need to read through the article. It's just like it's pretty basic. Israel struck Iran. Iran is now retaliating, and there's missiles getting through the Iron Dome. And now there's questions as to whether or not the Iron Dome is failing or if they're allowing it to fail. Because the United States has not openly said that we would be joining Israel in the fight. And a lot of people are saying, well, if Israel gets bombarded because the Iron Dome failed, well, now the United States has to step in. And I really fucking don't want that. I really don't want to go to war with Iran. Israel can suck a dick. If anything, I think we should side with Iran. Just go take out Israel. Fuck it.
Don't necessarily agree with that, but
I'm joking. I'm joking.
The U.S. getting involved.
No, we shouldn't get involved on either side. So here's what's called. This is from 17 hours ago from The Guardian. Here is a quick recap of the latest by The Guardian. Israel and Iran have broadened their strikes against each other as the conflict between the two nations enters its fourth day. Israel officials say several people have been injured in the latest round of Iranian strikes on early Monday. Israeli state media has reported that 3 people were killed in the country's center, while dozens were wounded in the overnight strikes. In Iran, Israeli strikes have killed 224 people so far, with 90% of the casualties reported to be civilians, an Iranian health ministry spokesperson said. Which is funny when you read that, because Israel is openly complaining that Iran is bombing civilian centers.
Right. But there's a level of hypocrisy in that.
Absolute level of hypocrisy. Just look at what they've done to Gaza, and look at the statistics of Iran right now. 90% of the casualties are civilian.
Yep.
So it's just funny. Israel likes to play victim when they're doing the same thing.
Right. And if the Iron Dome is like being shut off on purpose to allow all this to come through, then yeah, you're allowing your citizens to die to justify the war.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. A lot of people bring up how long it took them to respond on October 7th. Just makes you think.
Yeah, almost seems like a common tactic.
Yeah, it almost seems like they want to garner sympathy from other countries to get them to be pulled into war.
Yeah, and then there was also the video of Netanyahu just sort of like pleading his case right after, I think right after he struck or after Iran struck back for the first time. But yeah, speaking in English, he uses a size reference, talking about like a city or a country the size of New Jersey or whatever. So he's using an American city to explain, you know, as a reference. So he's obviously talking to the American people, trying to get support for it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So looks like they murdered or assassinated several high-ranking Iranian officials. Ali Shamkhani, a senior political figure and former head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. Wow. He was overseeing nuclear negotiations with the United States. Wow.
Yeah, a guy Trump was in contact with.
Yeah, they killed the guy that was doing the negotiations. Okay.
Or not negotiations. He had 60 days to do it.
Okay. Head of the IRGC intelligence organization and his deputy, Hassan. Okay, so they murdered the head of the intelligence organization for Iran. They murdered the head of Iran's atomic energy organization, and a prominent nuclear scientist and president of the Islamic Azad University. So they were targeting they were targeting the negotiators and the people that actually run the bombs. They killed multiple commanders and other military officials as well.
Yeah, they chopped off the head of the...
The Israeli military described the campaign as a decapitation strategy that was aimed at crippling Iran's military leadership and nuclear capabilities. Yeah, that would definitely seem like the goal.
Doing so.
Yeah, and then I don't have it pulled up right here, but Netanyahu actually came out in a statement, because Donald Trump keeps saying peace, 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 right? Netanyahu came out and he said no peace. No peace will be had. They will not make peace with Iran.
Well, I think he said that after Iran said earlier today that they signed a deal. They just don't want U.S. involvement, or not in the deal making. They don't want U.S. involvement they don't want U.S. involvement in the war. And so Iran is sitting here right now saying, "Hey, let's make a deal." Israel's saying, "No, we aren't making a deal." And I think that is a betrayal of Trump on Israel's part.
No, Israel is absolutely going against the United States right now, and even besides that, it seems like Trump might bend the knee. Like if
yeah, which is infuriating.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it more here in just a second, but if Donald Trump comes out and he's like, if he even says that we're going to start sending weapons to Israel, I'm going to become one of Trump's biggest detractors.
Yeah, I'm going to be joining that camp as well.
There's no fucking way I'm going to support Donald Trump after he said that he's not going to start any new wars. And then he turns around and starts funding a new war.
Being anti-war and anti-controlled by, the military-industrial complex was my biggest voting issue.
Yeah.
And if he just becomes another warmonger himself, then he can go to hell just the same. And so I feel like this is a big moment for him because, I don't know, I feel like Matt has drawn a line in the Senate, and we're about to see if he's going to cross it. It's crazy. I'm seeing Rick Rukowski posting videos about air tankers that are flying toward the east.
So the current reporting right now is that Iran, like you were saying, does want to come to the table for peace talks, and Israel's response is they're saying that they will not be having any peace talks with Iran, and Netanyahu is refusing to rule out assassinating the leader of Iran now. So he was asked for comment if he would kill the leader of Iran, and he said that they're not leaving it off the table.
So, as far as like not taking that off the table, I feel like in military strategy, you don't take it off the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's not how you word it. You would be like, look, that's not something that any of us want to see happen, but if it has to happen, it will. You don't be like, Well, that option's still on the table.
I don't know. I think like Art of War style.
I think Art of Negotiation style. you gotta.
I'm talking about the book. I'm talking about.
No,
like,
I know. I'm just saying, like,
I'm just saying, like, out of everything going on, him not ruling out that isn't the biggest concern to me, because I don't think that anyone should rule that out. Like, if Zelensky was asked if he'd rule out the assassination of Putin, I don't think that he should say, "Yeah, we'll rule that out." Like, if it's on the table, then that's a worry.
you can say things like that's not currently on the table, but it could be in the future. I'm just saying you can word it in certain ways.
Sure, and who knows the exact quote that he gave? You know, that's a media spin on it that they provided to us.
Well, let's watch an Iranian news organization get bombed.
Yeah, what's Iranian news out of this?
What you heard is the voice of the invader of the homeland, the voice of the invader of the voice of the truth and justice. What you observed, the voice you heard, the voice of the dusty space of the boom. I don't know, it still looks like AI to me. When she gets up to walk away, it kind of looks like AI.
It's weird. Hearing all
yeah, I don't know. When she gets up to walk away, it does kind of look like AI.
I don't know. I believe it's real.
I mean, it's probably real.
Like, it's from their TV channel. It's like if you were watching Fox News, and then all of a sudden there's an explosion, people get up and run away. Like, you wouldn't think that that's AI, that they've been broadcasting AI for the last hour segment.
Yeah. Well, so Donald Trump said, so this is a tweet from over the weekend, or a truth. He truthed. The U.S. had nothing to do with the attack on Iran tonight. If we are attacked in any way, shape, or form by Iran, the full strength and might of the U.S. armed forces will come down on you at levels never seen before. However, we cannot easily get a deal done between Iran and Israel. However, we can easily get a deal done between Iran and Israel and end this bloody conflict. So Donald Trump over the weekend still saying that, hey guys, I know you guys are attacking each other, but we can still fix this.
And you know, his statement about if we were attacking in any way, shape,
I agree.
or form,
I agree with him. Well, obviously, I don't want to be too strong on it because I don't want Israel.
Awaits your
I don't want.
salvation.
Oh, someone followed me. Hello, who followed?
Nice.
Someone just dropped a follow. Hello. Oh, Fairy Potter. Hello, Fairy Potter.
Nice.
But
So,
wait. What I was gonna say is, if the United States is attacked by Iran, and we know for sure that it is Iran and it is not a false flag by another country, then yes, go to war with Iran. Only if Iran attacks us first. We should not be involved with Israel. We should not be funding Israel's war. We should not be giving them arms. We should not be sending troops. None of that. But if Iran does attack us, yes, I think we should retaliate.
And it's so easy with that mentality to create
I know, and that's
flag attack.
and then Israel does a false flag, and then we're pulled into a war because we think Iran did something. Yep.
Right. But I do think that, like, you know, when Trump talks about his negotiation with, like, Putin, he was like, well, I'll push the button if I need to. And maybe he believed it 5%, but that 5% was enough. You remember that from ages ago? Anyway, I think
you said that 5% was enough. I forgot to post all my links on Discord.
Gotcha. So when Trump was talking to Putin ages ago, and he was talking about, hey, if you're trying to go to war with us, I'll push that button and we'll nuke Moscow.
Yeah.
Right. And then Putin believed, maybe he believed at 5%, but 5% was enough to keep you from taking action. I feel like using such strong words and saying that you will be destroyed more than anyone's ever been destroyed before is important, because they need to believe that there is consequences. You know, it's a deterrent.
It is a deterrent, but like you said, it's just the rhetoric has to be. You have to be careful about how strongly you feel about something, because if Israel makes it look like Iran did something to us, which is something I'm sure they would love to do. And then we get dragged into a war because we think Iran did something to us, you know?
Did you hear about the aircraft carrier that's set to be decommissioned next year being sailed into the area? It's almost
No, I have heard about it, but I don't have it pulled up at the moment. But so yeah, what TJ's talking about is the United States just sent an aircraft carrier in to the Middle East, and it's I kind of feel like that isn't a big surprise though, because I feel like we do need to have a presence over there.
I mean,
we are daddy United States. We do need to be kind of watching from the sidelines. I feel like that's not unusual.
I mean, it's a sign of force, and I think the strikes that Israel did, I think the rhetoric that the United States and that Trump has put forward, I think it worked because Iran is saying, "Hey, let's make a deal." Like everything that has taken place, mission accomplished, boys. All we need is for Israel to stop the strikes and for the United States to not get involved. Like it's done. It's over. Come to the table, sign the deal, put it to bed. But if Israel refuses to sign the deal now, then that almost makes Israel the same level of enemy that Iran is.
Yeah.
It's infuriating.
Well, I mean, Joey and I have talked about it a lot lately too. I mean, when you look at our allies on the world stage, I mean, who's actually an ally and who's just using the United States? Because Israel is not actually our ally; they're just using us.
Who needs enemies when you have allies like these?
Yeah, exactly. So, and then we have more tweets from Trump, and then we'll talk about Mark Levin, and we'll send you guys over to Joey. We've definitely gone over today, but that's fine. Joey will live. It's really cool to see all these cool people in the chat. Thank you so much again to the Quartering from Friday. Had a lot of fun over the weekend hanging out with all the new people, and it's really cool to see some new faces in the chat. Really awesome. But anyway, continuing on. So another tweet from Donald Trump on. I keep saying tweet. That's like what is it? It's like a descriptor at this point. Here's the Donald Trump X post. His expression. Iran and it's on Truth.
Holy shit!
What?
Has anyone ever said expression before?
Yes. Many people have said it. X and expressions. Yeah. That's what they should be called. But anyway, yeah, pick it up, Elon. He doesn't even have to spell it like expression. You know, you could just literally just be X and then expression.
Yep.
Anyway. Hire me, Elon. Iran and Israel should make a deal, and will make a deal, just like I got India and Pakistan to make. In that case, by using trade with the United States to bring reason, cohesion, and sanity into the talks with two excellent leaders who were able to quickly make a decision and stop. Also, during my first term, Serbia and Kosovo were going at it hot and heavy as they have for many decades, and this long-time conflict was ready to break out into war. I stopped it. Biden has hurt the longer-term prospects with very stupid decisions, but I will fix it again. Another case in Egypt and Ethiopia and their fight over a massive dam that is having an effect on the magnificent Nile River. There is a peace, at least for now, because of my intervention. Oh, sweet. I got the sound effect.
Let's go.
Hey, thank you, Rage Flowers. Gifted 1 subscription to Tyler Today News. Oh. It got both sound effects.
That's awesome. I love it.
You like that one? So when someone gets gifted a sound effect, it goes, whoa.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Rage Flowers. That's awesome. That was the first one. And then looks like CB Van got the gifted sub. So there you go, CB Van. Sweet.
Welcome to the club.
Hell yeah, guys. But yeah, so Donald Trump's just giving all the examples of all the peace talks that he's gotten lately throughout his term as president and in his past term. And he's talking about how all these great leaders have made peace even when people thought it wasn't possible. And he thinks he can get Israel and Iran to do it too. So
the last line at the bottom of that.
Yeah, make the Middle East great again.
Well, I do a lot. I never get any credit for anything, but that's okay because the people understand.
Yeah, let me read the whole thing. There is peace, at least for now, because of my intervention, and it will stay like that. Likewise, we have peace. We will have peace soon between Israel and Iran. Many calls and meetings now taking place. I do a lot, and I never get credit for anything, but that's okay. The people understand. Make the Middle East great again. I agree, Mr. Trump. I agree. Make the Middle East great again. I'd say this about all the countries. I want every country, everywhere, to be great again, okay? I want Mexico to be great again. I want Italy to be great again. I want France to be great again. I want all these countries to be great again. That way all these fucking immigrants stop coming to my country. Anyway, if their countries are great, they wouldn't have a reason to come ruin mine. Hey, what's up, Concrete Hades? Aloha, boys. CB Van, really appreciate that, my dude. Hell yeah, thank you very much to Rage Flowers. Finally got my password to work. Hell yeah, got Concrete Hades in the chat, using his actual account this time. And then, so let's see this one. 2 months ago, I gave Iran a 60-day ultimatum to make a deal. They should have done it. Today is day 61. I told them what to do, but they couldn't. They just couldn't get there. Now they have perhaps a second chance. Concrete Hades gifted 5 subscriptions to Tyler Today News. Here, get ready for the pop-ups. Here comes the pop-ups. Should play it again.
In rapid succession.
There we go. Is it gonna play it for each? Because he just did 5. Is he gonna play 5 of them?
Whoa!
All right, where's the 20?
Oh, yeah, there's 3 more. Hang on, there's 3 more. Oh wait, and someone followed. Oh wait, Concrete Hades, did you just start following? Is that what happened? Mwahaha. Okay, no, it only did the 2. It only did the 2. Nice. Thank you very much, guys. That's awesome. And double thank you, because now I know the pop-ups work, and that's awesome. Hey, TJ, you got gifted. Oh, and another one. It was delayed.
Oh, man.
Hey, guys, type in the chat if you haven't already. Maybe you'll get a gifted sub. I followed you ages back, so I don't know who just started following then. Someone just started following. I didn't see it pop up. Yo, yo, yo. Thank you, everyone. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Thank you, guys. But yeah, no, so this was, what was this, 3 days ago. So this was the same day the attacks started. He was tweeting out about it. And like I said, this was the end of the 60-day ultimatum. So Trump did give them an ultimatum. And I guess Israel took it into their own hands to deal with that ultimatum. I don't agree with it, but yeah. And then, so if you have anything to add, well, yeah. So I was just gonna say, if you want to add anything to any of Trump's tweets or any of the conflict, and then we'll move on to Mark Levin.
Gotcha. I'll just say that if this is where it all stopped, and both Israel and Iran now come to the negotiating table, I'm not going to be as enraged with the conflict as I originally was, because, you know, they took action. U.S. involvement was minimal. It served the purpose. Now we're signing this deal to make peace, wash our hands, be done. But if it escalates more than this,
yeah,
I worry for the world, and I will rage against the administration.
Well, and like we're both talking about here, if the administration decides that it wants to go to war, we are both going to be raging against that against the administration. And now we're seeing a split within the, I guess you can call it the MAGA party. And you have people like Mark Levin making tweets like this. So we'll talk about this, and then we'll send everybody out to Joey. We'll talk about this and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Real MAGA, this is from Mark R. Levin on X. Real MAGA and fake MAGA, despite what Mediaite says or wants, or a relative handful of self-identified influencers declare, the Trump coalition is made up of 77 million voters, the vast majority of whom have no idea who these people are or what Mediaite is. There is no rift in real MAGA. The Trump voters love and support President Trump like never before. They also love our country and, yes, the holy land that is Israel. Jews, Christians, and tens of millions of others, despite the loud propaganda campaigns of the self-righteous narcissist and the national security illiterates who run day in and day out on social media and in their favorite news outlets proclaiming they're the voices of America. They trash conservatives, Fox, Reagan, Churchill, Jews, evangelicals, the greatest generation, capitalism and success, the founders, you name it. And now President Trump, whose coattails they rode while claiming they're the new leaders with new ideas. Just got to pause for a moment and say absolutely fuck Reagan. Anyway, they sound like Bernie Sanders, Rashida Tlaib, and David Duke, promote 1930s isolationism and appeasement, and confused bumper sticker slogans with intelligence. They claim to be America first, and they trash most things American. But they're now mostly grifters and bullies, self-promoters and demagogues, making deals with shady characters and the billionaires and millionaires they claim to hate. They seek to control a movement they didn't start and, in fact, reject, and which they will never control. They're fake MAGA. Real MAGA is not isolationist or anti-Semitic. They're not anything. It's not anything like them. So we'll pause here before I read on. And I just got to say, real MAGA is isolationist. isolationist. Real MAGA is isolationist. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. The entire MAGA group has been repeatedly saying no new wars, get us all out of the wars, close our borders, and build up the country. If that's not isolationist, I don't know what the fuck is.
That's why in the House and Senate we're wanting to get in like politicians that are MAGA and get rid of the neocons, because the neocons are warmongers and, you know, controlled by the military industrial complex. Like, I don't know. I feel like Mark Levin is just part of the old guard, the neocon Republican, and we steal.
And then he talks about the Holy Land of Israel. I don't give a fuck about the Holy Land of Israel, and the Jews don't care about Christians either. It's ridiculous. I don't understand how there's so many Christians on the right that are like, oh, we gotta protect God's people. The Jews are our friends. No, the fuck they're not. The Jews killed the Christians. They kill Christians. They don't like you. They don't like Muslims. They like Jews. They don't like you. So it's just funny when we're like, protect Israel. Christians have to be friends with the Jews. No, the fuck they don't. There's a reason they're Jews and you're Christian. You guys don't believe the same thing. And in fact, they killed who you believe to be the Messiah. So it's just funny. Anyway, it's just funny to see that people are like, we got to protect Israel. Real MAGA is not isolationist, and all of that shit is bullshit. It's hilarious.
I feel like his support on this, like, I don't know what I'm seeing. I think Owen Schroyer had a poll. It might be in his post, but it really shows, you know, where a majority of the population sits on the issue.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see a level of religious zealotism that is being used to justify going to war. Like, if you want to be a part of MAGA, you got to bomb all the Muslims. If you don't want to bomb all the Muslims, you're not MAGA. That's what he's saying as far as I'm concerned.
So I'll read this from Rage Flowers. I don't want war, but if we get sucked into a war, I hope we declare it in the open. Yeah, I want it declared. I want it to be said openly. So and so dragged us into war. We want nothing to do with it, but we are gonna fucking finish it quick. Is what my answer to that would be. And then Concrete Hades said, also that's not isolationism, Tyler. Isolationist is an utter disconnect from the rest of the world, even in the realm of trade. Concrete Hades, technically you are right, but we are playing semantics at that point because most MAGA are, to some degree, isolationist. So that was my point.
I get what he's saying.
I totally get his point. Real isolationism is that, yes, but there are degrees to that. There's not just full isolationist. MAGA, real MAGA, whatever you want to call it, fucking people that support Trump, the majority of them are to some degree, make America great again, isolationist. They want America to do everything that it can do on its own, and anything we can't do on our own, we then outsource. That's actually MAGA is.
A good way to word it.
Yeah. So yes, isolationist for everything we can do ourselves, but anything we can't do ourselves, that's when you outsource.
Yep.
Anyway. So he's got a little bit more to go here. So he said, so the self-anointed leaders and influencers have little or nothing in common with the forgotten man. None of us voted for them, and they couldn't win an election, let alone a nationwide election if their lives depended on it, which is really ironic coming from Mark Levin, because he has little or nothing in common with the forgotten man, Mark Levin himself. Anyway, we back President Trump. He's a historic and iconic leader. He has been a great success at everything he's done throughout his remarkable life. The pretenders are just that. Pretenders, arrogant and self-important. Petulant and nasty. MAGA is not divided. It's stronger than ever. President Trump is stronger than ever. There may be legitimate differences of opinion in the MAGA movement now and then, just like there are in every family. That's normal, but the fake media and fake MAGA are worried and panicked. They should be. They seek power and control. They hope to divide us. It's not going to happen. Mark Levin, you are dividing us with this tweet.
Right. I somewhat agree with the last paragraph, but I also think that there is a level of divide. I don't think it's going to destroy MAGA entirely, but this is like we're fighting on the battleground of ideas, and the anti-war ideas are being combated against the neocon warmonger ideas.
Yeah.
So.
And then we have this again from Mark Levin, who died and named Marjorie Taylor Greene the queen of MAGA. Trump is MAGA. He received 77 million votes. You're a little known politician from Georgia. I hate to break the news to you. We're Team Trump. Go Trump. So Mark Levin is just trying to play off like her opinion doesn't matter. But
I think
this is in
fairly
response
basic
to
here.
this is in response to a bunch of people. Because we highlighted Mark Levin and we're highlighting Marjorie Taylor Greene, but there's a lot of people that are disagreeing on this whole issue right now. So we'll read Marjorie Taylor Greene, or we'll read her post real quick, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll get going. Damn, she's got a long one too. Fuck, dude.
It's short sentences.
Yeah, it's short sentences at least. Everyone is finding out who are real America First MAGA and who are fake and just said it because it was popular. Unfortunately, the list of fakes are becoming quite long and expose themselves quickly. Anyone slobbering for the U.S. to become fully involved in the Israel-Iran war is not America First or MAGA. I completely agree. You're not America First if you're just itching to go help Israel right now. Wishing for murder of innocent people is disgusting. Completely agree. We are sick and tired of foreign wars, all of them. And this one will quickly engulf the Middle East, BRICS, NATO, and countries are required to take sides. I completely agree. A conflict like this is not like Israel and Gaza. This is not like Ukraine, Russia. This would involve the entire world for sure. But just absolutely, it would involve everybody. We love our U.S. military, and we love them helping to secure our borders and our cities for the defense of our people and our country. They are our friends, spouses, cousins, nieces, nephews, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters. We have spent trillions in the Middle East, and we have dealt with the aftermath of death, blown apart bodies, never-ending suicides, and disabling PTSD, all because they told us propaganda as to why we must sacrifice our own to defend some other country's borders and some other country's defend some other country's borders and some other country's borders. We're defending two different countries' borders here. I don't want to see Israel bombed or Iran bombed or Gaza bombed. I don't want to see Ukraine bombed or Russia bombed. I do not want to be involved or required to pay for any of it. We are 36 trillion in debt. And that number is just increasing by the second. And we have mountains of our own problems. We have giant planks sticking out in our own eyes while we complain about splinters in others' eyes. Every country is involved, and every country involved and all over the world can be happy, successful, and rich if we work together and seek peace and prosperity. Taking this position is not anti-Semitic. It's rational, sane, and loving toward all people. Taking this position of peace and prosperity for all is not isolationism. It leads to great trade deals and great economies that help all people. It's what Americans voted for in 2024. America first, America first, America first. That is what we make that is how we make America great again. I completely agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene here. Why are we itching to start other wars? I don't want any of the places that she named. I don't want any of them being bombed. I don't want war anywhere. There's no reason to go to war with anyone. And look, guys, the real reason I don't want war, the aliens won't come and talk to us because we don't have a global government yet, guys. They're not going to go talk to like 50 different factions all fighting for power. We need one global government for them to come and accept us into the Galactic Trade Federation.
Intergalactic Federation of Planets.
Yes, the Intergalactic Federation of Planets. We can't join if we're all so divided, guys. I'm just saying. But no.
Long story short, I agree with this description of MAGA far more than I agree with Mark Levin's description.
Yes,
of MAGA.
I completely agree. This
Scroll down. Check the comments. Owen Schroyer had a poll in
yeah, the chats were going pretty good there for a second. Who had a good one?
So actually, go back to Levin's quote tweet of this. Can you just go back? Yeah.
Okay.
And then scroll down to the comments. Owen Schroyer, go ahead and make your vote.
Let's see how this goes for you. Round 2. I'm going Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? I'm picking Marjorie Taylor Greene's side on this.
Go ahead and see the results.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like, MAGA for you, Mark.
Dude, get bent over.
That's a ratio right there. That's crazy. Wow. So yeah, 5% of people are with Mark in wanting new wars. That makes me happy to see, though. That makes me really happy to see.
I just want to make sure that this kind of shit gets to President Trump's ear.
Yeah,
because
polls like this need to be shown. Like, Mr. Trump, you have all these people in your ear, like war, but don't forget all the other people, because like Mark Levin said right here, right? He wants to say 77 million votes. All right, well, let's take that ratio right here, and only 7 million of them out of the 77 want war by that ratio standards.
Exactly.
So, yeah, fuck you, Mark. The other 70 million tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yep. So
Anyway.
that's why I wanted that brought up today, because I do think that it's important that we do see that most of MAGA want peace in this world and don't want endless wars. So
Good. Well, TJ, I can't. That's the next thing we got to do. I gotta create a scene for you to just have your own solo camera, get me out of here. But for now, we'll just do it like this. Closing remarks. Where can we find you? At Tarek Reigns on X. I can pull up the banner still, I think. So go ahead, do your outro. I'll pull up the banner for us.
Yeah. No, it was good hanging out. Thank you guys for joining us.
There we go.
I don't want this war. I disavow the murder of political appointees or the murder of anybody, really. It's a crazy time to be alive. Be wary of the fog of war. Keep yourself safe. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay strapped. Thanks for hanging out.
Always a pleasure to have TJ on the show. That was an amazing show today. We went way over time. I'm going to have to join Quiet Part here in about 30 minutes. So catch me on the Quiet Part Pod. I'm going to send you guys over to Joey Cannoli. And what I'm going to leave you guys with, if you didn't catch it at the start, you get it now. I made a song that is What's New Tyler Today News, and it's based off the What's New Scooby-Doo song, and I fucking love it. So yeah, you guys enjoy that, and have a great rest of your day. Catch me at the Quiet Part Pod, and go have fun over there with Joey Cannoli. Let me go find his stream. We're at 491, guys. We got 2 new people subscribed or followed during the stream. Thank you to everyone that gifted subs today. Concrete Hades, Rage Flowers. Thank you to everyone that followed today. You guys have been amazing. And again, thank you to everyone that came over from the quartering raid on Friday. You guys are absolutely amazing. The support from Jeremy was awesome on Friday. Really made my entire month. But I hope all of you have a fantastic day. And let Joey know that I sent you over there. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.